Welcome back. Well, today we have Jan Labarjan from United. They had their meeting on Tuesday, and she chaired that meeting. Good to see you.
Good morning.
It's nice to have you here today. It's been a while. I think last time you were on, you were talking about the Christmas parties and all that. So
Absolutely.
you got to chair the meeting the other day because Len was out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, here you are. You get to report on it. I'm glad to have you here today. So you gave me some topics you want to talk about, and one of the first ones is waistline remediation, right?
Right. Yeah, we just looked at a contract yesterday, rather large contract, for waistline remediation. That's where they epoxy the lines,
Right.
and they found a way to do the 2-inch lines, which are on the inside of the house. So now we can do the inside and the outside without digging up the floors and,
Oh, that's
and
good.
making a big mess, at least with most of them. But it's kind of an interesting project because Janie Durrell and her crew have been working on finding grants, grant money, and since we're not a municipality, it's pretty hard for that to happen.
Right.
But we're working on it, and she's got a crew of people that are knowledgeable in that area, and if anybody else is knowledgeable in that area, I think she would be happy to have
Okay.
them join them. But we're doing that, and along with that, we're looking at buying units
Yeah, I remember you
using
talking
the
about
first
this,
right
yeah.
of refusal.
Right.
And what we're thinking is that we could keep from charging the members if we purchase these units, just gutted them, went for the electric, went for the waistline remediation, and did everything that we needed to do to get that
Right.
to today's standards, and then sell it, hopefully at a profit.
Right.
And then that would save the members money when we go to do this whole thing, which is, we're doing it right now, basically.
Right.
Yeah, so that's something we're pretty excited about, and it's looking good. We don't
And-
know if we'll do it or not, but it's looking
Yeah,
good.
has it ever
Something to
been done
talk about.
before, or
I
do you
don't
know?
believe so.
No? Okay.
Yeah, no, people don't realize it, but we supposedly, when somebody sells their house, they're supposed to report that prior to selling to the mutual. Because I think technically they have to do that 30 days before they sell, or
Okay.
10 days before they put it on market, something of that sort, because that allows United, if they choose to purchase it at fair market price.
Okay.
So anyhow, that's something we're looking at. It's one of the few ways we can come up with where we wouldn't have to pass that expense along to the
Okay.
community, to the members.
And if somebody put their place up for sale and you would offer them their price, or how would that work?
What you would do is you'd have it evaluated, you have assessed, and then whatever the assessment came out, that would be the price.
Okay.
So, and it would be a fair market price.
Okay.
You know, everybody seems to put their house up for a little
Right.
more than it's worth.
Now, if I'm sure you have to go through all this and look at, all the different things you'd have to consider. If the seller said, well, no, I think I can get more for this, then that would be their option?
I don't believe so. I believe we have the option to purchase if we choose to.
Okay.
We're not looking for an antagonistic
Right.
thing with our members. We're trying to help save them
Okay.
some money. And I think what we would probably do is go for homes that have not had anything done to them.
Okay.
Any improvements.
Right.
And that way, or people who had passed on and there was no,
Right.
no errors. So we don't know. We're talking.
Right,
And
exactly.
it's really just that. It's at the talking stage. But I think it's good that people are aware of what we're doing and have an idea where to go with that.
Very good.
So.
And as far as, I know another point you want to talk about, the Arbor tree, right? Arbor Pro
Arbor
tree
Pros.
trimming. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Tree trims,
There's
yeah.
been a lot of buzz, in the community about topping trees and grooming them out of season and that sort of thing. And we have hired Arbor Pro for the whole community. And they're going to, if they haven't already done so, map the trees in the community so that every tree in here, you know what it
Right.
is, you know how old it is, and you know how to take care of it. And they're going to essentially, as I understand it, go and tell us, okay, this tree needs trimming this year, or it needs this treatment or whatever.
Okay.
And they're going to basically run the trimming or
Okay.
the care of those trees. So
Okay.
that's kind of an interesting.
And they would work with the landscaping department?
They would work with landscaping, of course, yeah. Yeah.
All right. And another point that you folks talked about at the meeting was the third person occupancy fee, right?
Right. We passed a resolution yesterday or Tuesday. I think it's yesterday. And there's a $50 additional charge for the third person. And that's to cover wear and tear on the building.
Right.
And it was funny because somebody said, well, what do they wear and tear? Well, we were working for a short period of time on renovating the theater, and one of the issues was the seats and the upholstery that were put on them. And the upholstery is sold in terms of how many rubs you can get.
Right, yeah.
So if you sit down, that's a rub. So if you have 10,000 rubs, that means that somebody can sit down in that chair and stand up 10,000 times before the upholstery's gone.
Okay.
Well, it's the same with the paint, the flooring, you know, everything that we have
Right.
has, maybe it's called something different,
Yeah,
but a
life
rub factor
expectancy,
to
yeah.
it. So when we invite people from the outside in, and when we add people to our units, those rub factors are alive and well.
Right.
So they're wearing out the flooring, they're wearing out the, you know, the pipes and everything. It's
Yeah,
just,
exactly.
so they put a $50 fee, went from originally 90, and then the director said, no, that's a bit much. So let's
Okay.
go with 50, and they did.
Okay, it's $50 per month per person.
Right,
For the third person.
The third person,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And also another policy was the care provider policy that you folks have been talking about for a while now, right?
Right, that actually was activated by the state, but a lot of our members are not aware of it. And the state passed a law that said that every caretaker, whether they be a family member or whoever, even if they worked with a facility, and they have to be licensed by the state. So they have to have some kind of a license agreement with the state. And the one thing I liked about that is they do an extensive background check. And, you know, we have some, well, I'm not even going to go there. But anyhow, it's nice to know that the people who will be coming in as caregivers actually have been checked by somebody to make sure they're good citizens.
Okay.
Okay?
Very good. And cable service deactivation. This is something I know that has been talked about for quite a while, and I had thought it had gone through like several years ago.
Well, you know something, a lot of us thought it had gone through.
Because I remember talk about it.
I know, yeah, and I think it has gone through. And why it came up again, I'm not sure. I think
And
somehow.
let me interrupt you. I want to mention to people, this is for people if they're delinquent and they're paying their assessments.
Right, right.
So let's clear that up. So
Yeah.
that's the main
and
focus.
what
of
they
it. Yeah.
found, and so I know they've been doing it, what they found is the minute you deactivate their cable TV, they pay.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and so it's something that works to get people to be
Right.
good citizens and do their thing. And so anyhow, we passed that again on Tuesday, and they're looking at other ways they can use that because
Okay.
there are other things that
Right.
people owe for this or that or the
Right,
other thing.
right.
And so they're looking at that. So if you like your TV, pay your bills.
Okay, very good. And then, as we have mentioned here, there's going to be a town hall meeting on Tuesday, February 28th
Right.
at 4:30. And what this really is going to be about is common area property.
Right.
And there are members that maybe want to expand their unit, their patio, whatever it may be, right?
Right. Yeah, right now we have a policy where you can go within the, anyhow, the outline of the property. In
Right.
other words, if your house is an L shape, you can fill in that L.
Okay.
And we allow them to do that. But what a lot of our members want is to encroach on the common property, which belongs to all of us. And there's been controversy on this ever since I've been on the board, that it's been half and half for a very long time, that half the people felt that it would improve housing values if you allow people to improve their property
Right.
and encroach. And the other half said, wait a minute, we knew what we were buying, And this property they want to encroach on belongs to me as well as to them. And this is not right. So that's been going on. And so we're going to have a town hall where everybody gets together and we talk about it in a reasonable way. And we see really what does the community want? Because
exactly.
we don't know. We know what we want. We don't know what they want.
Right, and I know the board is somewhat divided.
It's
right?
very divided. Yeah. We had, I think, 3 votes that were deadlocked.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I remember.
Yeah, 3 votes. And technically, with Robert's rules, you shouldn't have revisited it, but we did.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes old Robert just doesn't get his full share.
Yeah, exactly. Finally, communications and PR committee. Is this going to be a new committee?
This is a new committee. We're having trouble getting a location and a time for it.
Okay.
Because, as you know, all of our common property buildings are being heavily used.
Right.
So it's hard to find a date where you can actually get in there and have them. So we're looking for the Wednesday after our board meetings, and we're hoping that's wrapped up pretty soon. But we want to expand. We want to get some PR people, some people who write, those that have editing experience, event planning people, because we want to get United's word out. You know, we've been pretty quiet. We're pretty quiet mutual. I have to. You know, we try to get things done, and we don't toot our own horn. And so as a result, a lot of people don't realize what's going on behind the scenes. And so we would like people to know that we're not sitting idly and just attending once a month meeting to say yea or nay.
Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much where we are.
All right, very good. Anything else you'd like to add for today?
Hey, United has been a really good investment. We are up 9.9% on our housing.
Yeah.
And a lot of good things are happening there.
Well, good.
A lot of good things. So
Good to see you.
Thank you.
You know, I know you don't get to come up here that often, but it's a pleasure. And you chaired a great meeting on Tuesday.
Well, thank you.
I
like doing that. That's fun.
Well, maybe see you again do that.
Who knows?
All right. We'll be right back. So what did you...
If you want to leave, I'm with it.